All right, hello and welcome. So glad to have you guys back for another chit chat with me about new makeup releases, chit chatting if I buy them, and just going over the top 10 from this past week. Before we dive into it though, here I am getting ahead of myself. I did want to shout out this cup. This cup is made by an Instagrammer I follow. I will put her username here on the screen, but I think it's homemade, homegrown, and home thrown, and with a dot between them. I'm gonna link her down below. If you want really beautifully made cups, I mean, as you guys saw, I can't really show you now, but the inside is like a bright neon yellow green. It's gorgeous. The outside is absolutely beautiful as well. I have a couple of her cups. I've gifted some of her cups. They are a work of art. They're beautiful. And if you like very special handmade cups, definitely check her out. She has a lot of pieces available. And yeah, I just wanted to shout her out real quick since I'm drinking from her cup. And I think she's also going to be setting up an Etsy store sometime soon. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, just want to shout her out real quick. Per usual, I do want to shout out Samantha March, Angelica Nyquist, Amy Loves Makeup, and Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner as being the inspiration for how I do my Will I Buy It, talking about new makeup releases, top 5, bottom 5 videos. And yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and just dive right into it. There were some really good releases that I can't wait to chat about. All right, so let's dive into one of the bottom 5 picks from this past week. This was something I just saw this morning. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta talk about this. But this is from Makeup Revolution. They are collaborating with Coca-Cola for a makeup launch. And I was like, okay, Coca-Cola, Morphe did that not too long ago. Let's see what it's like. But then I started looking at the pieces in their collection, and they got a couple palettes, and they got a highlighter, lip products. But I feel like this is just the least inspiring and least like Coca-Cola-ish type of packaging you can do. Like, I hate to say it, but I feel like Morphe really hit the nail on the head. I think it was Morphe that did the Coca-Cola. Was it Hip Dot? I think it was Morphe, but one of the two I know did a collab with Coca-Cola, and like the packaging, the palette packaging looked like the Coca-Cola logo, like you just, straightened out a Coca-Cola can and put it across the cover. Like it was the red and the white that we all know. So I love that about it because I do like Coca-Cola. I like the packaging. I think it was pretty, and I just thought they did the collab well. This collab, however, is basically just the logo on black with a little bit of coloring. Like, I guess you could say that's a Coca-Cola coloring, but I don't know. It goes from like orange to red to purple. It's just kind of like a ombre of colors there. And then going into the palette itself, is this all shimmers? Why are there so many colors? It's kind of just like a rainbow palette with, one nice bright red in there, but we're doing a Coca-Cola collab, so I would expect or want something a little bit more curated to Coca-Cola. The next little 9-pound palette, is also all shimmers as well, and looks just like a handful of shades from the bigger palette in the smaller palette. Not the same name, so maybe it's not exact, but just looking at the different colors, it kind of looks, I guess there's subtle differences. Anyway, the packaging on this one, I will give them, is pretty and does remind me of a Coca-Cola can that I've seen. I can't remember the flavor or what it is, but it's got like that black with the more like hot pink. I don't know, it just vaguely reminds me of it. I could be totally off here, but at least this one's a little bit better with the packaging and not just like black with, the red writing on it. And then what else they got? They got a highlighter. It's got a Coca-Cola bottle. Sure, that's cute. I don't know. It's just doesn't wow me, honestly, for whatever reason. I see this and I'm like, okay. And then the lip oils. And again, it's not even like, why didn't they do the red packaging or the red lettering for Coca-Cola? Maybe they were trying to match with the lip oil, lip color, but even this black, why isn't it like bright red? Did Coca-Cola change their colors recently? I'm just not aware. But like, as far as I know, Coca-Cola is always like black and white and red, like a bright red. So all of this coloring is just a little confusing. This one's better. It's nice, but nothing I'm like super excited for. What even is this? Is it just a makeup case? Makeup bag, $10. I don't know. I saw all of these and I was just like, nope. It's the logo, sure, of Coca-Cola, but everything else just seems a total miss for me. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this launch, but for me, it definitely earned a spot in the bottom 5 fails for me from this past week. All right, switching over to top 5. This is super cute. This is the reveal for the Sugar Drizzle Polish Sugar Dreams Eyeshadow Palette. It's 9 shades, pastel duochromes, and special shimmers. Radar 10 at checkout if you want a discount from Makeup Release Radar. I highly recommend you Radar. I said Radar. Radar. I highly recommend you follow their account if you want to keep up to date on more indie type of new makeup releases. But let's just talk about the palette. You guys, I'm sure this comes as no surprise, but the one that's like screaming at me right now is So Tasty. That is a shimmer green that I love. I mean, I love that color in matte greens, but especially shimmer, when it's that shade all over your lid with like really dark or even bright greens around it, but especially dark, the green just pops. I love that type of shade, and I've heard great things about Sugar Drizzle polish, but I've heard great things about that brand. I've been very curious to try the brand. I have not tried the brand yet, but this palette is really cute, and that shade alone in the middle definitely is drawing me in. I think it's so pretty. I tried to click over and see, but as of right now, I feel like my Instagram, there we go. It's taken a long time to load new posts recently whenever I go to someone's page for whatever reason. Anyway, they don't have any swatches of it as far as I can see, so I don't know what it'll look like when it's swatched out, but I am very curious. That'll definitely help me decide, because I feel like while I love that middle shade, the shades kind of on the left hand side and across the bottom, especially the bottom, are very like pinky pastelish, but even these two, Candy Clouds and Sweet Dreams, are very close, looking very close, and the only shades that really kind of stand out to me that I would be excited for are definitely So Tasty, obviously, but Let's Eat Cake and Yum Yum. Those three really call to me, and the other ones I'm like, I want to see them swatch to see if I would be excited, regardless if I pick it up or not. It's definitely a launch that caught my eye, and that green caught my eye very much so. I thought it was a good launch, an exciting launch from this past week. All right, next up, going back to bottom 5, this one just kind of was a womp for me. I mean, at least from what I can see right now, but this is Sigma Beauty's. They have 7 shade mini palettes coming out, and it looks like there's 4 of them. I thought there might be 5 of them. I saw Karen Harris do a video. I haven't been able to watch it yet, but I thought she was holding up 5. Maybe it's 4. I only see 4 here, so this is all we're going to talk about because I only see 4. But just looking at them, I will give that ambiance, that palette for being a neutral palette is at least an intriguing, pretty looking neutral palette to me. But all the other ones just kind of look repetitive and non-inspiring. Enchanted, Cor de Rosa, Warm Neutrals. You know what? I think these are like minis of palettes they've come out with before, and maybe that's why I am attracted to Ambiance, because I think they did a palette, a bigger palette like that I almost bought, but I didn't end up buying. That's neither here nor there. These are just a huge miss for me. They're $29.50 each, available now on beautybay.com and probably Sigma Beauty. I don't know. I feel like Sigma, the last few palettes that they've launched have all kind of looked the samey, like they're all just either like mauve type of browns or, you know, neutral type of browns, and I'm just not into it. So for me, while I'm sure a lot of people are super excited about this and hyped, it is an incredibly easy pass for me. I like how skinny they are. I think that's nice and, you know, great for travel, and I like that there's a variety of mattes and shimmers, and I'm sure the quality is nice because I've heard great things about Sigma's quality when it comes to their eyeshadows. I have yet to try them since they reformulated their eyeshadows, but I am very curious. In recent months and the recent years, so I feel like besides that one palette that was more, had that earthy tones, maybe had a grungy green in it, I haven't been into any of the palettes that they've launched, so I'm just patiently waiting for them to launch something that I'm excited for. But for this launch for me, it was just a huge womp. Easy pass for me. Let me know what you guys think though. Are you at all interested in this? Maybe if you haven't tried any of Sigma's palettes and you like smaller palettes, this would be nice to have and give their brand a try and just have a couple shades from them, but I don't know, let me know. All right, going back to a top 5. So this was a really cool release in my opinion from this past week, but this is from Essence Makeup. This collection, it dropped on their website, and I don't know if they have a theme or a name for the collection, but it's like destinations. They got, let's see, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Roma, Miami, welcome to Miami, I can do that. Welcome to London, so this must say welcome to Rome, just in a different language. That's my assumption. Don't come for me, but let's just talk about the packaging and the palette color story, because that's what always gets me excited. While I'm not super into the Rome or London one, I can honestly tell you that I think they're very creative type of color stories for being more neutral and more maybe safe, you could say, for the color story, because like the London one doesn't have a whole lot of color to it, but I like that it's all kind of cool tone. It has that pop of red and blue, which makes me think of, you know, London, but it just has a nice variety of colors, has a nice variety of, you know, shimmers to mattes, and that kind of orange shade right there, also very intriguing. I think it's a really nice color story, and it goes along well with the palette packaging, and the same for Rome. I feel like this one, you know, is very kind of, you know, corally neutral, but it has that green in there. It has that kind of minty shade in there. It has a nice array of mattes to shimmers. I don't know, not super interested in the color story for, you know, either one of those, but I do think they're pretty color stories for being more neutral and like a subdued type of color story. And then obviously the one that caught my most attention, and definitely would be number 1 if I were to pick one up, is Welcome to Miami, because like, look at this palette. It's so cute. Like, it goes well with the cover. I think the cover's really cute and eye-catching and bright and fun. It's got, you know, purples in there with some greeny blues in there, some corals. It's got, again, a nice array of mattes to shimmers. Those mattes look like they would be so fun to combine into looks. Like I can see doing a really fun purple look with that like coral shimmer on the lid. That would be a lot of fun. I'm really tempted, and it's Essence, so they are $9.99 each at retail price. I think you can get them at Ulta. I think Essence is still at Ulta. They have highlighters in here as well that are kind of like a sun. I think that's cute. What are these? Lip balms? Yeah, they're cute, but not interested in them at all. Oh, they got highlighters as well. What else they got? Oh yes, I forgot. I almost forgot. Obviously I forgot, but they also have this palette. Look at this palette. This is a really pretty palette. I love the scale from like yellow to coral to purple to green. They got a little bit of neutral thrown in there. They don't have a lot of really dark mattes, but they have a variety of mattes to shimmers. And I like the cover. I think the cover's pretty with the ombre. I think it's a really cute palette. They got mascara, lip oil or something right there, and then a highlighter. It's a really big collection. And then also these brow gels. There's a lot that came out from Essence this past week, and for the most part, I'm just like, yeah, those are all really nice, really fun, affordable. Let me see what that bigger palette is. Make Beauty Fun, $11.99, so a little bit more than the this first set. It's $11.99 for that, but you get more eyeshadows and whatnot. I don't know. Overall, I was super tempted to make a purchase. I decided not to, though, just because I was like, you know, I got a lot going on. But it also has been forever since I've tried Essence eyeshadows, if I've tried them at all, honestly. I like to dabble in Essence cosmetics because I feel like for the most part, the stuff that I've tried, I have enjoyed. So let me know, should I pick this up? If I picked up something, I think I would just get Miami because I feel like I could review it in a decent amount of time, and it's got a more curated color story, which I like. But yeah, let me know. Would you like to see me try Miami? Maybe I'll pick it up next time I place an Ulta order, which I actually do gotta place an Ulta order soon because I'm almost out of eye makeup remover. Let me know. Overall, I was just super into this launch. I thought it was a great launch, a great release from Essence Makeup. Going back to bottom 5, we gotta do it. Let's talk about it. This is Pat McGrath Labs Mini Eyeshadow Palette Midnight Voyage. I honestly, I know a lot of people said the same thing, but I thought this was Anastasia Beverly Hills when it first launched just because of the packaging, maybe? I don't know. Something about it was just like, oh, did ABH launch something? They did. We're gonna talk about it in a minute, but it's not this. I am not into this at all. If you are into purples, I can see you being excited, but I'm not really, I don't love purples mixed with browns. I don't know, it just doesn't excite me that much. And while I hear amazing things about our formula, I like that there's a really dark matte in there. The shimmers do look really pretty. I'm just not into this launch at all. I like that the purple looks pretty bright for, you know, being that purple, because it looks pretty dark in the pan, but swatching it out here on the arm, it's pretty intense. They look so different. Those two, like, look at those two purples right there. And then the bronze, the shimmer, and then it's more like a coral here. I don't know, that's weird. I just noticed how there's not really two purples in here. It's like a coral and a purple, but here it looks like two purples. Anyway, lighting, I guess. Regardless, looking at the swatches or looking at the palette, I'm not really into any of them, and Pat McGrath is more expensive, $29 for this 6-pan palette. It's a very easy pass for me. Ooh, this one I'm super excited for. Obviously, it's in the top 5, but this is Sydney Grace. They are coming out with makeup brushes. I am so hyped. You guys know I like makeup brushes. It's just, especially eyeshadow brushes, that's definitely just my thing. I enjoy having a variety of brands, having a variety of different styles and whatnot. So I always get excited when an indie brand comes out with makeup brushes, and these are going to be cruelty-free, quality synthetic hair, smooth wooden handle. I think a wooden handle is very pretty and feel like different from everything I have in my collection. Let's see, they're gonna be, oh, they have an introductory sale price for 30% off. This will start the 16th through the 20th, and they also have 2 makeup brush sets available. They have a face set and an eye set, which I love. I never like when they do like a combination of face and eye, because you guys know I like eyeshadow brushes. So I like it when I can get just eyeshadow brushes by itself for $50 for 5 face brushes or $55 for 9 eyeshadow brushes. And then they also have a price breakdown for single brushes, which is right here. You guys can go to Motivate the Earth or Sydney Grace's Instagram handle to see the breakdown. But let's go over to the style. These are all the face brushes. Kind of glossed over them because I don't need any face brushes, so I went right to the eyeshadows. But let's look at the eyeshadow brushes. The one that calls to me and that I really want to pick up is the SGE04. That looks like the perfect little blending brush for my crease. That looks like the style I like, and I kind of want to pick up 1 or 2. And also this little packer brush looks really nice as well, the SGE07. Those 2 are calling my name, and I'm very tempted. I might pick up one of them. SGE03, I'm kind of tempted, but I don't know how big it is. What do they describe that one? SGE03. Crease blending brush. So maybe it won't be too large because the first one here is their large blending brush. It looks a little bit skinnier, so maybe I'll like that. So maybe I'll pick up the 03, 04, and 07. 30% off. Do I need brushes? No, but... And look at those handles. I think those handles are super pretty. I really want to pick up a few. I don't need them, but I really do want to try them and just, you know, check out how the quality for Sydney Grace eyeshadow brushes is. Are you guys planning to pick any up? Let me know in the comments down below. I would be really curious. But yeah, when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's so exciting, and you know, a good expansion to the brand. And as I've been saying this whole time, I'm always excited whenever eyeshadow brushes are launched from an indie brand. So yeah, launch date is Thursday, June 16th. And yeah, let me know what you think. But I definitely think I might possibly end up picking up at least a couple. Okay, bottom 5. This is from Isamya Beauty. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. I'm so sorry. Let's just talk about the makeup, mainly the palette. Let me swipe to find the color story. I like the color story. However, I don't like that I'm pretty sure it's all shimmers. From what I can see, unless there's some satins in there doesn't look to be, maybe this one's a matte. That could probably be a matte, maybe. So maybe a little bit of a few mattes in there, but not many. Most of them are shimmers for sure. Let me see if they shared any swatches now. Nope, still nothing. Yeah, I like the color story. I think it's really pretty earthy tones with those pops when it comes to the earthy tones, like the copper there, and the green and the blue. I like the pops. I like the color story, the earthiness of it. This is a fun type of neutral palette that I would definitely be down for. However, I don't like that it's mostly or all shimmers, and I don't like the packaging. Let me see if I can get a better picture of the packaging. I forget. I think that's the best picture we got. What is this? Someone said, like, made a Star Wars reference. I forget who. Han Solo, I think. It's been so long since I've watched it. I haven't watched Star Wars since I was a kid, and my older brother was into it. I think it's Han Solo that gets like frozen, and a couple people were making jokes that that's like Han Solo in there or whatever, just because it looks so interesting. And I don't think I mean, I can't see the full thing, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad, but just from the side view, I'm just kind of like, I don't want like a person protruding from my palette. I don't know. Definitely too clunky. Like, I could never put it behind me, you know, kind of stack up like I do book style on my palettes. Never could do that. It'd definitely be a display piece, but I feel like it'd be kind of like a creepy display piece, kind of like when, you know, some palettes have like the eyeballs on it, and then it's back here, and like you come and it's like, oh, somebody's staring at me, that type of thing. So it's an easy pass for me. Like I said, I like the color story, but the whole vibe of the palette packaging, and then the fact that it's so heavy on the shimmers, it's a very easy no for me. The brand is from a makeup artist, I should say. It'll be launching their brand later this month. I don't know the makeup artist. We're just talking about the palette. Oh, there's a price. It'll be, oh my goodness, $119.57. I missed that before. That's another mark against it. $120 for that palette. Wow, I did not realize it was so high. The brand was going to be so high end. Okay, well, there's more information if you were wondering. The piercings on the packaging can be repurposed and worn as jewelry. Oh, so the like nose ring thingies, I'm assuming? I honestly don't know. Those little things. That's an interesting kind of spin on a makeup brand. Definitely something I haven't seen before. Anyway, I'm getting distracted at this point. $120 palette. It's an easy pass for me. Let me know what you guys think. All right, we're going to the top 5, and this is something literally I went on the website, added it to my cart, and almost bought. This is from Catrice Cosmetics, and this is the Rainforest Haze eyeshadow palettes. This is going to retail for, how much? $12, not a bad price, and it has some gorgeous greens and golds in there. I like Catrice Cosmetics. I really do like the brand, and this palette looks so pretty. It's got a couple like really light tones in there. It's like, did you need all those? What is it? Mystical, tranquil, and exotic. Besides that, and the fact that it's very heavy on the shimmers, I am really into this color story. Where is it swatched? I think there's only like 3 mattes, and the rest are shimmer. Oh, they also have this other one. Obviously, I glazed right over. I forget what it's called. Sandy Days. It's just a neutral palette. I glossed over it very quickly. But this one, Rainforest Haze, like I said, I added it to the cart, and I was looking around at Catrice, seeing if I wanted to make a cart and, you know, hit free shipping and purchase. I was like, maybe I could get more of their concealers that I love. I could stock up on some. I ended up not making a purchase because I just got busy and never went back to my cart and finished. But I was really close to purchasing this, so should I? Let me know. Should I purchase it? It's not too big of a palette. Like I said, the only drawback, looking like really inspecting it and trying to be critical, is that there aren't that many mattes. So I'm gonna have to play with a lot of shimmers here, and it's just something different, not bad necessarily. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I'm really torn on this. Like, I want it, definitely I want it, but then I also have plenty of palettes that I'm going through right now, so I don't need it. But I really like the brand. I like trying things from the brand, especially when it comes to eyeshadow products from brands that I love their face products. So I'm tempted, but it definitely, regardless if I get it or not, want to place in my top 5 because I was like, that is a cool palette. I love the palette packaging. I love the palette color story. It's a win in my book. Okay, going back to bottom 5, we're going to talk about the ABH launch from this past week. This is their new Nouveau? Something like that, eyeshadow palette. I am honestly a little, it's kind of anticlimactic for me. I mean, I like the surrounding inspiration for the picture and I like the cover. I think that's really pretty, but when we're looking at the eyeshadows, I'm just kind of like, we've seen this before from this brand and definitely from other brands a million times before. I don't know, it's nothing new or special. It's got 12 shades, 6 mattes, 6 shimmers. I love down the middle split, 6 mattes, 6 shimmers. Available June 13th. Doesn't have a price on here. But yeah, I don't know. And a lot of people were saying like, what's the purple doing in this palette? Like, it's just, I think it's just Norvina. She always loves this shade of purple and she always likes to put it in palettes, but it definitely kind of like stands out. I'm sure it'll go, you know, along with colors just fine, especially I feel like that coral will be really pretty with it, but it's definitely a pop of like something different in here that doesn't quite go with the palette. But everything else, I just feel like we've seen this from ABH so many times before, especially the shimmers, like those kind of pinky tones and the purpley tones, the taupe tones. We've seen that so many times. The pretty coral, the mattes that they have, none of them are dark. I feel like ABH does that, it has done that in previous palettes where their darkest shades are shimmers, which I don't love. Regardless of that, it's an easy pass for me. I saw this and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not getting that. Pretty packaging. I love the green of the packaging. And if the color story itself had more saturation and more colors like the surrounding, what's surrounding the palette, then I might be more into it. But as it is, it seems like a very washed out version of what's going on around the palette, so it's an easy pass for me. Let me know if you guys are gonna get it though, because I feel like ABH is always like a super hyped launch. Everyone's super excited for them. They're definitely very wearable colors when it comes to just, you know, more neutral and easy to wear type of looks. So I'm sure there's a lot of people excited for it, but it's not for me. All right, and finally, to round this video out, we're gonna talk about my last top 5, and this is coming from bPerfect Cosmetics, and they're collaborating with Lord China. I do not know who the Instagrammer is, so sorry if I'm like mispronouncing that or whatever the case is, but let's talk about the palette. It is a rainbow palette. I feel like bPerfect does a lot of just very colorful palettes, but it's just kind of like all their palettes are very like colorful rainbow. I do like that this one's smaller though, I will say that, because usually their palettes are huge, and it looks like, just from looking at these pictures of what I can see, is that it's all matte with like this big, I'm assuming more of an iridescent shimmer topper type of shade, which reminds me of something that, what brand did that? Suva Beauty I think did that not too long ago, where they had like the rainbow colors in mattes, and then they had a couple topper shades that you could top, and it would, you know, depending on what you put it on top of, it would change the look or change the colors that came out from the iridescent topper, which I thought was a cool idea. So it kind of reminds me of that. Looking at the swatches, really pretty. It's like the gorgeous rainbow up here, and then you get down to here and it's just like a neutral palette, which gives you that diversity of having, you know, all the colors of the rainbow to work with. But if you need to get a neutral look, you can very easily get a neutral look between those 4 colors at the bottom. So that's really nice. I love 99. That's definitely a shade that, and Proud too, that shade, that mustard. But that 99 is very pretty. Yeah, it's really nice. It looks super pigmented. Definitely tempted. I mean, look at that matte work. You guys know I like an all matte look. I think it's super pretty. I'm surprised she didn't use, if that is a shimmer, maybe it's not a iridescent shimmer on this side. It's gotta be. Let's see, it's gonna be 27.41, 14 intense pigment mattes, and 1 universal shimmer. Okay, so that it is a shimmer. Yeah, it's really pretty. I love that type of eye look where it's just like all the colors of the rainbow on the eye. It's pretty. I think it's really well done. Gives you a nice rainbow palette. It's one of those palettes that you could like have just this and you'd be set to incorporate it to any looks. Great palette to take traveling because you got neutral, rainbow, you got a shimmer that you can top, you know, no matter what colors you're using, it's going to go with it. So I think it's a really cool launch. I'm not going to be picking it up just because I'm not that sold on it, but I do think it's really pretty. It's a nice spin on the rainbow for, you know, the summer months and whatnot, and I think I just really love that eye look that she created with it. I think it's really, really pretty. But let me know what you guys think, and if you plan to pick it up, because I definitely know bPerfect is pretty popular popular. A lot of people do enjoy the brand. I have yet to try them. One of these days I will try them. If you've tried them, let me know. I always love to hear kind of my audience's reviews on products and whatnot, especially brands that I'm kind of interested in trying, and just to hear what you guys think. So if you've tried them before, let me know down below in the comments if you did really enjoy the formula and whatnot, or what it compares to. I always am intrigued on that. Like, what's a good brand to compare it to, maybe that I've tried before? Is it like, you know, Beauty Bay? That's something that kind of comes to mind, because in my mind, like, for whatever reason, Beauty Bay and bPerfect are constantly, like, I'm almost like mixing them up in my head. So I'm curious if they are similar in quality and whatnot. Anyway, I'm rambling at the end. That's gonna do it for the last top 5. All right, so we talked about all of top 5, bottom 5 that came out from this past week. A lot of really neat releases and a lot of releases that just fell flat for me. Absolutely. But let me know, were they your top 5, bottom 5? If your top 5 was in my bottom 5, don't worry about it. I don't want to offend anyone here with my opinions. I just like to share with you guys what I'm thinking, and those just happen to be in my bottom 5. So if there are palettes that you're excited for, or there are palettes that you're going to be picking up, that's awesome. Let me know that down below in the comments. But yeah, that is going to do it. I didn't drink too much of my coffee, so now it's cold and I have to reheat it. That's why I like iced coffee, because it's like iced coffee, you leave it too long, it just gets colder. Maybe a little watered down with the ice, but it just gets colder. Whereas hot coffee, if you don't get on top of it, you're drinking cold coffee, and I don't enjoy cold coffee. But anyway, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. If you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram at LadyKatie92 over there, and I post reels, up close eye swatches. And if you like to see belly shots, I haven't shown a belly shot in a while, and someone on YouTube left a comment saying they want to see. So let me throw that in real quick. This is not easy because I'm not at a good angle. I need to be a little bit taller for my camera. But let's see, we can kind of, there we are. I think you could see, baby, getting very, very big. We are at 29 weeks by the time you're seeing this. So, oh my gosh, I'm almost at 30 weeks. But yeah, here is my latest bump date. All right, I hope that was an okay angle. I feel like I need to be a little bit taller, but I just can't get taller, and I don't have anything to stand on. And I don't want to fall off my stool, because that probably wouldn't be great. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.